Hey guys, welcome back to Misha Garden. We've got a perfect weather today. It's cold, but at least it's not rainy, so we can get outside and get some stuff done. Started working on that cherry or the plum tree that is behind me. I got a fire going, kind of burning the small branches as I cut them down. And then we will be trying to get rid of it, dig it out, and hopefully get the root out as well. Got our roosters. I have like 5 roosters that are making too much noise, and I will have to butcher them pretty soon, maybe in a week or two. Just trying to get them a little bit bigger so they have a little bit more meat on them. But if they're gonna be doing what they're doing right now, they're gonna go. Anyways, let me show you this tree that I'm cutting out and digging out, and we'll get to work. So there's the tree here. We started cutting it down and I started digging around the root bowl to get the root out. Um, this was planted here kind of in the middle of the grass. We had 2 rhododendron out there, which we moved to this fence, and they've been alive, which is great. So I'll be digging this tree out, and then I'm gonna try to dig that tree out next as well, just to open this area up a little bit and get rid of this walkway, move it to a side. But this is a plum tree. I'll be saving the bigger pieces to use in our firewood, and then we'll try to uproot this to get the root out of the ground. Hopefully it'll work. It's always a pain to get these done, but we'll get them done. Let me show you the chickens really quick, the ones that are making so much noise and hustle over there. We got two chickens sitting on the fence. It's super muddy there. I actually called a friend of mine to see if I can get some wood chips to get this covered. If not, I'll have to get some. There she goes. Get some hay or straw, actually straw, and cover them up so it's not as muddy, because it's just gone too muddy lately here with the rain. Usually I remove the soil from here a couple times a year, and I mean, sorry, every couple years, not a couple times a year, but it's been a year or so, and you can see the roosters. There's one, there's two, and there's that red one, there's a white one. I have probably 5 or 6 roosters there, but I gotta get this area cleaned up too. Soon, hopefully. So this plum tree was planted here 12 years ago, and it's just not the right tree for our area. The variety is not correct. And it just shows how important it is to plant the correct variety for the area where you live. It produced maybe a handful of plums every year, but it usually bloomed so early that we would still get snow, and it would be just the flowers would be covered in snow, and it would just not be pollinated by anything. I mean, there was nothing else flowering at that time, and there was no pollinators. Last year we had snow covering all the bloom on it. So we decided to let it go and just remove it. Plus, it was planted kind of in a bizarre area right in the middle of a grass area. It used to be okay with the planter there. And as you can see, those concrete chunks that I took out was actually part of the planter that was around that tree. And they gave me the run for the money to get them out. The roots basically just covered all of that concrete chunks, and I just had to spend, you know, almost a whole day taking that tree out. There was time where I went to grab lunch. I think that's right now. That's why it's kind of paused. But then when I came back, I still had to dig around, and at the end, my hole was about 6 to 8 feet in diameter, as well as almost 3 feet deep in some areas. But I did manage to get it down, did manage to get all the roots out and remove the tree. Usually I like to get in there with some kind of piece of equipment, and like a truck or kind of anything that I can pull it with. But in this case, it was impossible for me to drive in the back, and I wish I had a tractor or some sort of equipment that I could get that done faster, but unfortunately, it was just old style, with a shovel and slowly digging it around and finally getting it out and dropping it down. I managed to save all the bigger chunks for the firewood, and the smaller chunks would just burn in our fireplace. Well, I spent most of the day digging this hole out and trying to uproot this tree, and I did finally manage to do it. I actually did this 2 days ago. It started raining, so I couldn't finish doing much with it. I still have to cut up the main trunk of it and get rid of the roots and clean that up. But I'm telling you, this plum tree, that was something else. It's probably 6 to 8 feet across, and some areas it's like almost 3 feet deep on the dig out. I couldn't get any equipment down here, or I'm kind of limited on equipment. The only equipment I have is a truck that I can come and yank it out of with, and there's no way to get it on all the way here. But you know, good old hard labor does the trick and gets it out. So I'm happy it's out. Now cut it up, clean it up, and get this area covered and replanted with grass. Well, now back to our stinky chicken run area. So we have our chicken run here, and it's just extremely muddy. What I did here is I tried digging holes out, and especially in the areas where it was super muddy, with the hopes it would help, and it did help a little bit. The water did get in, you know, in those trenches and kind of out of the area. I hope you can hear me with all the chickens making the noise here, but I was able to get this out a little bit, and I ordered a truckload of wood chips to cover this. But I'm thinking I'm gonna be doing something else with it as well, because it's just this is just terrible. We had a lot of rain this last couple days, and it's horrible right here. So I gotta address this problem fairly quick, and I'll let you know. I'll probably do a video talking about what I did and how it actually worked out. I thought about putting straw down over there and just having that absorb the moisture and the water and on the soil on the ground over there, but after reading and reviewing it and watching some videos, I've kind of figured that doesn't really solve the issue. That's still gonna have the muddiness. It's just gonna be muddy straw from now. So I'm gonna have to find out some other ways of doing it and addressing that, because it's really not good with the amount of rain I've been having here. I gotta address it. Ideally, I want to put a bunch of wood chips, maybe like 6 inches of wood chips in there. That would be my ideal situation, but I don't have any wood chips right now that I can really spare that much. So I will be waiting for a buddy of mine to bring me a truckload of wood chips, and then hopefully I can get that area filled in. But in the meantime, I'm gonna try some other methods and see what I can do and get that fixed. I know some of those chickens need to go because there are meat birds, and the roosters are really starting to make too much noise over there, and I don't need 6 roosters in there. I'm not trying to breed them. It's just so happened that we got 6 roosters right now. Well, anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe to our channel. That really kind of encourages us to do more of this, and we'll be back with hopefully with this area, kind of working on it and seeing how that's going to progress.